are you? I think for SEB, what we're going to do, Gina, for today's call is jump into SEB issues, the structural post-audit issue, post-audit number 2 issues, and then you're going to walk us through a response for REI 0402-1. Looks like we've just received some comments from you guys that the staff is scrambling to try to get in front of us. So they need to take a look at that as we go through the meeting. So are all your folks ready to go?
Yes, I haven't done a roll call. Do you want me to do that? So
do your roll call, and that counts as you telling us who's on the phone.
All right.
That would be great.
Don Waddell and Gina Borsch are here from Dominion. Hicks, are you on?
Yes, I'm here.
From Excel. And Skip, are you on the line?
Yeah, so this is Skip Shumitz. In the room with me is Jerry Head, Brian Johnson, Dave Ricard, and Lubin Todovsky. Anybody else from GEH?
This is Patricia Campbell on the phone.
Okay, great. And then, Doug, are you on?
Yes, I am, Gina.
Okay, is anyone else from Bechtel on? Doug Kemp from Bechtel?
No, Gina. Just myself.
Thanks.
And Lanny, are you on?
Yes, Gina, this is Lanny Dusick with Fluor. Thank you.
Great, thank you. And I don't think I missed, is there anyone that I missed? Okay, so that's it for us tonight.
Okay, I'll just go over what today's call is about, and then we'll introduce NRC staff and then see what members of the public are on the line. Today's call is a Category 1 public meeting to discuss the ongoing North Anna 3 COL review. In particular, we're going to be talking about some SEB final documentation issues regarding the post-audit 2 that took place in March. And part of that, I believe, the staff, I think as of yesterday, had forwarded you a list of comments regarding potential COL FSAR markups. And when I walked into the meeting, apparently you all had sent some responses on that, and the staff has that in front of them right now, so I can't speak to if they're ready to talk about it, but that we'll try to go through those issues first. And then I know there's been some documentation questions on when are we going to get all the reports, et cetera. I want to make sure that the staff and Dominion are in line with what kind of documentation issues are still outstanding for this part of the review. The last item to be discussed today is in regards to a discussion that we had last week during a public meeting regarding revised responses that would be forthcoming for REI 0402-01. We will have a public discussion on that, Gina. I think you also had just sent some slides in a half an hour ago to guide that discussion. Our staff is currently getting all those slides in front of them, so and that's taking place right now. So we'll try to, as you walk us through that discussion, we'll try to follow along. And then if there's any need to discuss proprietary information, confidential type information, there is a closed session scheduled for later this afternoon if we need that. So as we did last week, if the staff or Dominion is aware that we're starting to get into those areas where talk about methodologies or numbers that are confidential, please make us aware of that, and we'll table that for a closed session. So we'll go ahead through, that's the preface for today's meeting. We're going to go ahead through introductions for all the people who are here at NRC and on the line. I'm Michael Udy. I'm a project manager.
Thomas, Reactor Systems Branch.
Ronaldo Jenkins, Licensing Branch Chief.
Jim Gilmer, Reactor Systems.
Soto Pop, Structural Engineer. George Watts, Structural Engineer. Manas Chakravorty, Structural Engineer.
We have Tom Ty, who's a project manager that's joined us, Gina, that I know you know, and I think he's going to be shepherding the Chapter 4 to hopeful closure, and Rebecca Karras is here as well. Are there any NRC members on the phone line?
This is Chris from Reactor Systems.
Also, Joe Braverman from B&L.
Thank you.
Yeah, Structural Engineer on the call.
Thank you. Are there any other members of NRC on the line? Okay, so now we'll turn to members of the public. Are there any members of the public on the line? Can you please identify yourselves?
Yeah, hi, this is Erica Gray, Richmond, Virginia.
Mute off.
Are there any other members from the public? Hello, David. Is that it for the members of the public?
Mute on.
So how we'll handle this meeting, at the end of the public proceedings, we will open up the phone lines if the public has any questions for the NRC. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and kick off the discussion with the SEB staff. I'll let Manus check. I've already kicked that off.
Oh, hi, this is Manus. Gina, could you first go over, when we will get what and in what form? Is it in the electronic room or submitted to us?
I'm sorry, Manus, I didn't hear what your question was. Could you repeat it, please?
Yeah, what I'm asking, Gina, could you go over when we will get what and in what format, or in other words, it will be submitted electronically here or in the reading room, or how, all these things that will be coming in the near future?
All right, let's go, and I should have done this before. I was trying to get those slides to you, Manus, so I'm sorry, but would you mind if I went through it by going through the documents one by one?
Sure, yeah, it's okay.
Okay. All right, so we're working on the 3 REI responses, the revisions that you saw, the draft revisions, okay?
Right.
And those, all 3 of those, for 3857, 37217, and 37219,
Right.
are all going to be transmitted to you, or scheduled to be transmitted to you by May 13th.
May 13th, okay.
Okay, so mid-May for that.
Okay.
Okay. And then the 3 reports that Dave Ricker did for you, the PCCS, and what do we have, the fuel racks, right? And what was the third one, Dave, that you're revised?
The qualification for the spent fuel in the spent fuel racks.
Thank you. Okay. So all 3 of those reports we're trying to get to you by the end of April, Manus.
Okay.
And,
Good.
all right. Okay. So then going on from there, I think almost all the other technical reports that we owe you, we're also trying to get those to you by mid-May also. Okay?
Okay.
Hold on one second. So those are all, as John's saying, those are all by letter, right?
Yeah.
We also have a couple of documents that we're revising, the supporting technical documents that we're going to post in e-room. So, for example, I need to get those numbers to you. Like one of them is the supplemental report for the SER DMN 019 that we're working on for you. That one is going to be, it's going to be SER DMN 039. That's going to be posted mid-May also into the electronic reading room.
Which one, 019 and 039?
Well, so we have SER, oh, thank you. Okay, so we have SER, the number is SER DMN-039. That's a new report that you haven't seen yet, and it's a supplement to the SER-DMN-019 that you saw in the electronic reading room and that you saw during the audit.
Okay. So 039 is a new one?
Correct.
Okay. Now, would it have the soil stiffness issues?
Can I help, Gina? Manus, this is Skip Schuman. The 39 report is just going to be our verified version of those six graphs that change the x-axis to 0. That's all it is. It's really nothing new technically for you. So that's all the 39 report will be.
Okay. So this is just the graphs.
There is a new report that we're creating, right, Skip, that will address the subgrade stiffness, right?
Right, then there's two others, one for subgrade stiffness at the soil springs, and then one for base mat uplift. Those will be two other new SER reports.
Okay, so that will be where, in the electronic room, or
Yes.
give it to us?
Those are going in the reading room. And they'll be in the reading room by the middle of May.
Okay. And what else? FSAR markup, I mean red, what do you call that, red line?
Yes, the red line. So the markup, we are working to get you in May also.
Okay. Is that end of May or middle of May?
I'm thinking it's probably going to be the second half of May, but we're doing our best to get it there as soon as possible.
Gina, this is Tom Tai. If I can interrupt, if the FSCR markup is the end of May, I'm looking at my notes when I'm talking. And if we plan to go to ACRs in August?
October.
I thought that was
November.
I thought that was the for chapter 4.
Yeah, all the chapters would be October, the subcommittee. Right.
Okay, well, in that case, that's fine. Forget what I just said.
We didn't change the schedule, you know.
No, I just want to make sure. No, that's fine. No, that's fine.
Oh, you can advance.
No, I'm not advancing anything. I just want to make sure I understand the schedule. So right now, October, so May is fine. Okay.
Right, and the FSAR markup, Gina, correct me if I'm wrong, but end of June is supposed to be Rev 9, which hopefully should encompass all the changes we would expect to see, so it's a comprehensive final revision.
Rev 9 FSAR will be sent to us at the end of June?
June 30th. Gina, is that schedule changing for you guys based on some of these markups not coming in until May? What do you think?
We're working on figuring that out now. Our goal is to meet the June 30th date, and it's just the logistics. So no, our plan is to meet June 30th.
Okay. So we can keep talking about that. Thanks.
Sorry to interrupt.
That's a good question.
Okay. Anything else, team? Sanu, anything else?
Yeah, Gina, for the submittal, that's for the file that you submit to us, that's the one file is missing. Can you send over?
Is there a file? Oh, Gina, thanks. I had sent you about a question about one of the, I think it was part 1B of that big FSAR markup that you broke into a bunch of different PDFs because it was huge. And I had sent you that one of them was actually redundant. It wasn't the part that it should have been. Part 1B.
Yeah, file we're missing is 2A.2.
You still need 2A.2.
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry. I will.
One that you identified in the email to me? Okay, so I thought it was one. Okay, I'm confused.
Then 2B twice.
So Gina, did you send that again? And I missed forwarding it to the staff?
Well, I was having problems with files going through because I know you sent me that email and I tried to respond to it. So let me try to send it to you again.
Okay, I'll have to follow up on that. Thanks for the reminder.
So it's the 2A.2 is what you need.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do that this afternoon. And so if you don't see it by close of business, then just let me know, okay?
Will do. Thank you.
Sure.
Okay. Is there anything else on that issue? Okay. Then I would like to go through, we had some comments on the latest, what you have as a supplement to the pre-audit FSAR submittal, okay? Now, first let me make it clear, we didn't revise anything, or in other words, this supplement really, you have to use it supplement plus the pre-audit submittal, right, on the FSAR part?
Yes.
Joe, do you have any question on that?
Yeah, I wanted to confirm that it's realized that the current markup post-audit does not have some of the markups in the pre-audit markup. That's your intention?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
That was what was requested. What we understood was requested, Joe, was give us the pre-audit file that we saw on day one of the audit, and then send us all the markups that were created to respond, a separate file with only the markups that were created to address the comments and questions we received during the audit. So you're right, you have to use both sets of files currently until we submit the complete markup to understand what's there.
Thank you.
Sure.
Okay, fine. The next thing that I have on the agenda is I'll go over a little bit of the comments that we had. We have not had a chance to read your responses at all, so we'll look at it. But let me go through mainly whether you have clearly written something that you don't understand, that kind of thing.
Okay.
The number one, we just did not see in the markup that these paragraphs were deleted or what will be inserted. We saw the insert following that paragraph, but we just asked. So, do you have any question on that?
No, I'm sorry, it'll be more clear in the next markup, but those are being deleted, so.
Okay, good. Then item 2 is basically a consistency of ITEC to use 371 in development of FIRST. Do you have any issue with that?
No.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
I didn't read it. Answer.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to go through what.
No, I understand. No, you don't want to go through. That's 50 pages.
Because I didn't look at it. I don't want to look at it in a hurry. Okay. Okay. Number 3. Is that clear?
Yes. We don't have any questions.
Great. Okay. On number 4, which is the use of passive resistance. Now, Joe, could you clarify a little bit what we are looking for there?
At least I don't understand why the phrase passive resistance is inserted in front of lateral pressures. That almost implies that you're limiting the evaluation only for the passive pressure loads and not also including the SSI pressure loads.
I can try to address this, Joe. The particular paragraph describes the sliding evaluations, and the statement is that for the sliding evaluation we are using only results from the design basis analysis of models with upper bound stiffness. So basically the passive resistance pressures were added to clarify, and it was actually comment from one of the reviewers to clarify that these sliding stability analyses are the ones that provide passive resistance pressures. Besides those, the structural evaluation also consider dynamic pressures. Now, the approach we are using to consider these two different types of pressures, which by the way cannot act simultaneously, they are separate. Either you have dynamic pressure or just passive resistance pressure. We are following exactly the methodology which was used in the DCD, where the dynamic pressures, which are obtained directly from the SSI analysis models, are considered together with all other SSE loads in combination. Now in the DCD, additional checks were done, and this is exact terminology used in the DCD, and we are using also in the EFSA, to check the walls or the control building and reactor building, fuel building structures, if they can withstand the passive resistant pressure loads. And this was done in the DCD. For the North-ANA, this check was done only for control building because we observed exceedances of this passive resistant pressure, and it wasn't done for the reactor building, fuel building, because the site-specific values were enveloped by the DCD values. And in my response, I noted where all these changes were described in the EFSA markup.
You began mentioning that the reason you put in passive pressure because it was in the context of sliding stability. The markup I'm reading seems to be general, not just for sliding stability. In fact, that paragraph, at the top of the page, it's talking about RCC, V thermal loads, and then it talks in general about site-specific seismic loads for applicable standard design, and then load combinations. And that particular paragraph says site-specific evaluations of the foundation seismic stability, dynamic bearing pressures and lateral pressures on embedded exterior walls are performed using the results obtained from a set of 6 site-specific SSI analyses. It looks to me like it's not limited to just sliding stability. It seems to be more general.
Basically, I mean, we can try to improve it, to make it more clear, but basically the paragraph, the intent of that paragraph is to describe what is presented in 3G regarding the sliding stability evaluations, and not to discuss the loads applied on the structure. But we can make it more clear.
Let me just go back, because I'm looking at the markup, and you only have one page, so it seems to be out of context. This is section 3G, 752?
Yeah, it's like the introductory section.
Let me look that up 1 second, if I can, quickly. 3G 752 has the heading Site Design Loads, Load Combinations, and Material Properties. That seems to be, generic, meaning, for all aspects of design. So I still don't see why this paragraph, or how this paragraph is trying to limit it only to sliding stability. Maybe.
Yeah. Yes, I will have to look at the whole section. I think there is a separate discussion on dynamic pressures, but if so, we will try to improve that. But specifically, it might not fit well in the overall discussion.
Yeah, so perhaps if you say it's limited only to sliding stability, that has to be fixed. But the way it reads now, it seems to be the overall analysis and design.
Okay,
you might have to fix that.
Yeah, we will look at it.
Okay.
But I hope you understand the process of what was done.
Yeah, because you're telling me this is more editorial, the actual technical analysis considered both the seismic SSI lateral pressures for embedded walls and also the passive pressure that was needed to satisfy the factor of safety for sliding stability. It evaluated both, correct?
That is correct. It addresses both. As I say, for reactor building, fuel building, no actual analysis was done because those pressures, the site-specific values were enveloped by the DCD values.
That's fine, as long as it considered it. Yeah, how it considered it is another story.
That's addressed, correct.
Okay. So you still have an action item there to fix it?
Yes, I'll go through the whole section and we'll make sure that everything is clear.
Okay.
Thank you. Let's go to number 5.
Let me speak on that. Now with the clarification from Dominion, it appears the Part 7, only one page was provided as a markup. I looked before this meeting at the pre-audit markup, and the additional markups are there, so you can, ignore this item 5.
So we don't need it? Okay.
No.
All right. Delete. Okay. Let's go to number 6. Probably editorial, but do you have any comment on that one?
No, it looks like it's just difficult. You'll see in our response, Manis, it just looks like it's an editorial issue, and we apologize for that.
Yeah, we'll look at it. Number 7.
Yep, you're right. We need to fix that.
First again, okay. Number 8.
We need to fix that too.
Okay. All right. So, I don't want to waste time. Yeah. Number 9.
We don't have any questions on that one. We're going to clarify. Also, you'll see our response on that.
I looked at the response just now, and so you're going to change it as indicated, which is okay to us.
Okay. Number 10.
I think we're good with that too. We're just going to have to make some changes to address that.
Okay. And lastly is number 11.
We're gonna add that information in there too, and I'm sorry that we didn't get it to you in the previous package, Manus. It should have been.
I think that's all we had, right? What else? Anything else on?
The rest of it is markups.
Yeah, that's all. Great.
So Gina, this is Mike. It sounds like you and I need to follow up on this PDF breakup issue later today. I'll go back and check my emails. And we do have a public call next week, so if there's any more SEB documentation type issues, I'd look to the staff, give me a heads up between now and then if any issues come up to make sure you guys have everything.
We'll tell you if something come across. And, well, thank you very much.
Thank you, Manus.
Thank you.
Mike, are you still there?
Hey, Gina, I'm sorry. We had to go on mute for half a second. Staff will be looking at the markups that you sent in, and if they have any comments on what you just sent in, they'll let you know based on that.
Okay, that sounds good.
So now we're ready to move on to, yeah, you guys can go. You can keep it. So anyone related to SEB, you're free to go. What we're going to do right now is go ahead and talk about, based on last week's discussions that took place, your Dominion has provided some, we've been having some discussions about a revised response for REI 0402-01. You had just sent in some slides to guide this discussion. If any members of the public would like that, I'd be more than happy to forward it to you when the meeting's over. But we just received those. So in the public portion, just let me know. So Gina, would you like to go ahead and kick off this discussion, or does NRC staff have any opening remarks?
No, I think we're fine. I think we're looking forward to Dominion's proposed resolution for this issue.
Okay. All right, well, what we thought we'd talk about in this session, Becky and Mike, is going over in a little bit more detail what we had discussed last week, and then talking about the technical approach in a closed session, just because the information is proprietary. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Gina, this is Ronaldo. Since we just got these slides, can we read through the slides for those who don't have them?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Do you want me? I'll read them aloud so that they can hear exactly what we're saying and go from there.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So first of all, I want to go over the agenda. What we'd like to do is we'd like to discuss the revision that we're going to be making to RAI 4.2-1, to our response there. Then we're going to talk a little bit about the fuel load combination sensitivity study that we plan to do to provide the additional information that the NRC needs to write their safety finding. We'll discuss the COLA markups and what we're planning to change and submit to you as a result of this work. We'll discuss the licensing topical reports that may have to be revised to provide this new information to you on the docket. And then if we need to, we will continue in a closed session to talk in more detail about the technical approach, okay? So on the next slide, slide 3, we're going to talk about our revised response to REI 4.2-1. We submitted the original response to the NRC back in December of 2015. And we're going to revise that response as needed to provide additional information for the NRC's use in making its safety finding. And the revisions to the response will include describing the methodology that we're going to be using to perform the fuel load combination sensitivity study. We'll talk about that study in the future slide. We'll also revise the response to summarize the results of the sensitivity study that we're doing, the analysis, and its conclusions. We'll describe the approach that will be used for completing the ITAC for the fuel assemblies and the